was worship night?
It was amazing. It's everything I needed, honestly. The presence was here. And I was desperate for it. As they said during the worship night, I was desperate for his presence.
I feel like, every time I peeked over, your hands were always up. And I love that.
I couldn't keep them down.
I love that.
I couldn't keep them down. I mean, I'm feeling it. It is hot.
It is very hot.
It's very warm. But that's his presence. You know, that's the fire that he lit within us.
Did you cry?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Many times. I know. I was like, I need a tissue. I'm feeling.
Did you cry?
Vulnerable.
I'm glad you came.
Thank you for inviting.
Are you going to come to the next one?
Hallelujah. Praise Jesus.
One tiny one. It's cool.
We are on the way to my very first MRI, and my husband is driving me this morning. We both woke up not that long ago because last night we went to worship night at our church, which was so powerful and amazing, but yeah, it's a little bit exhausting to drive back over the bridge after we just drove over it last night, but I'm excited to hopefully get more answers into my health. It's just been a long journey, a long frustrating journey, and I really just want to be on the other side of it. So I'm hoping that this MRI can get us one step closer and in my healing journey, but above all else, believing that God is still the God of supernatural healing. Husband is driving. How do you feel, babe?
Coffee, water. Those are my emotions right now.
He's still waking up, but
Just necessity, the needs,
But you were saying that you were still relishing about last night's worship night?
It's a good worship night, They prayed over a lot of people, a lot of things in the political atmosphere. I felt like was really necessary, so I feel like they just really had a pulse on their church and their campus and what they've been going through, so I thought that was beautiful, Yeah, it's just great leadership.
Yeah, it was a great night. I think that was our first time going to worship night together, I think, and probably the first worship night in a while for the both of us. I'm not feeling as nervous for this MRI. I think last week or the week before when we had the original appointment, I was feeling a lot more nervous, but I think now I'm just more ready. We didn't get to do it last time because we didn't check in early enough. They're pretty strict, so this time we are not only on time, but we are a little bit early, so hopefully everything works out today. So it was a pretty dramatic experience, mostly because I'm dramatic, but the nurse that was like assisting me and helping me get comfortable and walk me back to the room, like tells Gabriel after they set me in the room that he's like, yeah, those things freak me out. Like, what did he say, David?
I mean, yeah, you got the gist. You gotta put the mic like here.
Oh.
You're like, what'd you say? He was just like, yeah, that stuff, you know, he was just like, yeah, that stuff freaks me out. They asked me to do it to calibrate every now and then. I did it twice. I don't do it anymore.
Anyways, I think the most stressful part for me was the IV. Just like, I think the vision of having it in my arm the whole time and me feeling it, it didn't really hurt that much. It just was like the constant vision and like the fact that it was just like there in my arm, and like the guy was like, yeah, it's like a plastic straw like in your IV, and this whole time I'm thinking it's like a needle, and for some reason the whole visual of like a straw being in my vein versus like a needle freaked me out even more. But yeah, now we're going to get donuts because I've been craving one all week, and I feel like I've been really good with my macros, and I feel like I just need a treat right now. I do feel like I'm like a little kid. I was reading the instructions prior to the visit of like they sent me like a text reminder, and there's like a link to look at all the instructions, and you know, I've never gotten an MRI before, and so I'm a visual person, and the only video that I could play that was attached to the link was for children, and I watched the video for children, but it was helpful for me. And so I was like laughing to myself because in the video they were like, yeah, just imagine you're a block of ice or a rock and you're in a spaceship. And I literally saw those images while I was in. I was so used to train at one of these gyms, of course. Back home, and I feel so much better that now that it's all over. And on my way over to the hospital, I told you guys that I was feeling less anxious, but I think I just didn't give myself too much time to think about it because once I was there, I definitely got anxious. Let me scoot you guys back a little bit. I was really anxious. So when I got there, I thought I was gonna have like time to just chill in the waiting room for a little bit, but literally once I checked in, the nurse came and like called me into the back, and I was like, okay, here we go. And he like hands me clothes, and he's like kind of talking to me, but I'm kind of just like blanking out a little bit. And when I went into the changing room, I was texting Gabriel to come tell like the front desk to let him in the back because he dropped me off to park the car. And when I was done changing, we were like, okay, where do we go now? And I just totally forgot what instructions he gave me after changing into like the hospital gowns. But eventually we found each other and he took us to the nurse's side, the nurse's room, which was interesting because it was like literally just like made for kids. Like the curtains were all colorful. There was like magnetic letters like on the wall. It was like literally just like for kids. And I just felt like, I literally felt like a kid because I was like, I felt like I was so dramatic to the point where I needed care similar to a child. The nurse gave me the IV like right away, and I typically don't do well with needles, but you know, I tried to put my big girl pants on and just like not be dramatic and just like, you know, go through it. And everything was happening very quick, so I was just like, okay, I don't have much time to think about it anyway. But once the IV was in, I just got so nauseous because it was like stressing me out, and I was trying to like focus on my breathing. I was trying to tell Gabriel like talk to me, like tell me something, and I just could not get over the fact that there was literally like an IV in my arm, and it just felt so uncomfortable, and I just had to sit there. And so the nurse goes back behind the curtain, and he's just like chilling, like doing his work on the computer, and I was like, excuse me, how much longer do I have? It felt like we were sitting there forever. It's probably only a couple minutes. And he's like, oh, let me find out for you. And then he was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be another 5-10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, great. And I like, you know, externally, I'm trying to be calm, but internally, like my stress levels were rising and I was getting so nauseous, which I didn't know that was a symptom of stress. So he comes over and he like gives me some nausea medicine and then some sort of like glucose medicine, which like tricks your body into thinking that it ate. I forgot why they do that though. I think it's something to do with like when you're in the MRI, like you don't want like your stomach to be like moving or something. It's, everything inside needs to be super still to get the clearest images. So yeah, after he gave me the medicine, which was the weirdest feeling, I've never gotten an IV before. So I know that's like a big thing. Like people get like vitamin through IV. I've never done that before. I don't know how people just like casually get that done because I just would freak out. Today just confirmed I just don't do well with IVs or any sort of needles for that matter. So I'm sitting there and I feel like the liquid going through my veins, which was a really weird feeling. He like lays me back and I'm just like so dramatic. Gabriel's like laughing at me. But I was like really trying to like, I was this close to throwing up, but I was really like, I just trying to focus on not throwing up. Thankfully, I was allowed to drink water. They do tell me like, when I made the appointment, they told me not to drink or eat 2 hours prior. So I just didn't know if that included water, but I'm really glad that I was able to drink water because that was also saving me from it was just helping me calm down. And then finally the nurse comes back and brings me back to the MRI room and I'm just getting so anxious all over again. I'm like, okay, we just need to keep going. And, you know, the MRI person's like telling me what's gonna happen. I'm like, okay. And I'm like asking a couple questions and he's like, all right, you good? And then he has to send my husband back to like the waiting room. And so now it's just like me and this guy that I've never met. And, you know, I'm trying to stay calm, but then my stomach's like cramping. And so like the anxiety went from me feeling nauseous to now like I just have these major cramps in my lower belly and I'm like, do I need to go to the bathroom? Like I tried to go to the bathroom and it was just like didn't help. I think I just was like just so anxious and so stressed out. It was just like a very, very dramatic experience for me. But the guy eventually, you know, he lays me on the table, he hands me some earplugs, and we're all set to go. He like puts this like plastic cover over me so that the imaging blanket can lay on top of it because he said it's heavy. And so he's like, do you want your arms in or out? And so I'm like, I'm just have my arms in. And then he has the headphones in and I'm like, I'm very confined, you know, it's just like a very confined feeling. And he's like, I recommend, you know, if this is your first MRI to not open your eyes when you're in there. And I'm like, sir, you must not know that I have ADHD because you cannot tell an ADHD person to not do something because they're literally going to want to do that. So yeah, it wasn't even like 5 or 10 seconds of me being in the tube and I like buzzed him back in because he gave me like this little like stress ball and like makes this loud horn. And I kid you not, I was not even in the tube for longer than like 10 seconds. It was like as soon as the table stopped moving and I was in, I like opened my eyes a little bit and all I could see was like this tube that was like this close to my face. And, you know, I'm confined, I can't move. And I just immediately was like, I can't do it. Like the anxiety was just like through the roof at this point. This poor man, he's already like on the outside. He's looking through the window. He hears me buzz. And he's like on the intercom. He's like, what's up? Just like that, like, what's up? Like you could tell he was just like done. He was like over me, like over the whole like situation. And I'm like, I'm feeling a little anxious. So he immediately brings the table out. I'm like, the table's like scanning back out or slowly rolling back out. And then he like comes into the room. He's like, what's going on? And then I'm like, I can't hear you. And then he takes the headphones off of me. It's literally so dramatic. And I was like looking around. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like in my head, I knew what it was. I wanted to tell him right then and there, like, I don't think I could do it. Like, I'm just gonna not do it. But he helped me adjust. He ended up taking the plastic table off. And then it was just the blanket was directly on me, which felt a lot better because it was very similar to like how a weighted blanket would feel. And I feel like weighted blankets really help with anxiety. So I feel like that calmed me down a lot and I didn't feel as confined. And, oh my God, I feel like I have like sugar on my chin from the donut. That was much better. And then he rolls me back in. He's like, you good? I was like, yeah. I think it was just like the idea of like being in that tube for 40 minutes, but it wasn't that bad because I decided to just keep my eyes open for like most of it. And that really helped with it because I was like, since it was the center of my body, my head was pretty close to like the opening on this side. And then I could see where the opening was by my feet. So that was like very helpful for me. But yeah, I just feel like being cozy now and just like laying still. Today's supposed to be leg day, but I don't think I could work out. I asked the nurse if I could work out and he was like, yeah, it should be fine. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I just need to eat like a full meal today because I also haven't eaten much today. I just had like the donut. And then before we left, I was able to chug a protein shake with some creatine. So I have substance. I have sustenance, but I need substance or the other way around. One of those. I just need to eat a full meal and then we'll check in and see how I'm feeling.
weekend just flew by, and I don't know what kind of content I got for y'all, if this is even going to be long enough for a weekly vlog, which we're going to hope so. We're going to hope that it is, but we're home now from church. We stayed up way too late watching shows last night, and we did not get up early enough to be to church on time. But it's been kind of a chaotic week. I think both Gabriel and I have been really heads down, really working really hard and just doing a lot of stuff. And then yesterday was the whole MRI hospital event, which I think we both were pretty exhausted from afterwards. And so by the time we get to Sunday, it's always just a little bit harder to get things going because it's like the last day of the week and we're usually pretty exhausted by that. But I'm hoping that we can get on a better rhythm and just have overall better energy moving forward, because it's just never fun being late to church, and I just don't like that too. I think we want to both be even more involved than we already are. We both serve on the media team, and then I serve on the prayer team, and we just want to overall be more involved. I also host Bible study. So I think we do a lot already, but I think we just want to be more present is what I'm trying to say. But made my matcha, and yeah, made my matcha, and it looks really good. I have I think I have 5 different matchas in the fridge right now, and I've been only utilizing one or two. I only have one really good one in the fridge, and this one's like okay. It smells like more bitter. I don't want to say grassy. It smells a little more bitter, like when you first pour the water in, and I know it's just like, I like really good matchas to me smell like more umami taste and more umami smelling. So yeah, but when I mix this one with like the right amount of like pistachio milk and maple syrup, it's like really good. It's pretty well balanced. My head has been hurting for the last day or so because, yeah, my head's been hurting since yesterday because Gabriel like headbutted me in the morning as he was like waking up. He was like adjusting, and I don't know what it is, but we need to really figure out our sleeping situation, because Gabriel is an aggressive sleeper, and if it's not his head that's hitting me, it's like his elbow that's like hitting me. I don't know what it is. He like sleeps with his like arm up, and then sometimes when he's like trying to adjust, he just, he's not a small guy, and so when he adjusts and brings his elbows down, it literally feels like he's like elbowing me in the head. And so I feel like once I start to wake up, slowly start waking up in the morning, I have to like be on guard a little bit, so I'm like not fully asleep and not fully awake yet, and it's like kind of a stressful way to wake up. But yesterday it was like really, really hard. I think we just both have really hard heads. I don't know if that's a thing, it just feels really hard. And today it just feels like even more throbbing than yesterday. I think just the overall pain from like the IV, the discomfort that I was feeling, and just the overall stress that I was feeling with the MRI, I think distracted me from the pain that my head was feeling. So now today I just feel it a lot, and I think I just need to spend the rest of the day laying down, icing my head. I do have a nail appointment and I've been putting it off. I just don't like sitting in the salon. It just takes forever, and I've been putting it off, but my nails are like we're very due for the nail appointment, so I'm going to try to push through that and then just spend the rest of the day laying down, icing my head, and just relaxing. I hope it's just I hope it's just a bruise and not a concussion. I've had a few concussions before. It does feel a little bit like a minor concussion, so I'm just hoping that there's like no significant, damage. It's not a significant injury, and it's just like a light bruise, and I'm hoping that I'll feel better by tomorrow, because I also just have not worked out in the last couple weeks, in the last couple days, and so I think I'm just trying to take it easy, but I want to get back to my schedule, my routine, and my workouts by tomorrow. And in the past, when I've had concussions, like you literally have to pause everything, and it also just takes a lot out of you. Just one of the symptoms is you just feel sleepy and just like really low energy, which is what I'm feeling right now. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll feel better. But yeah, I'm making lunch. I put some potatoes in the oven right now, so while those are cooking, I made my matcha, and then I think we're gonna head downstairs to just shoot a little bit of content for Instagram right now, and then have lunch, and then maybe head to my appointment early so that I can head to my appointment early so that I can lay down sooner than later. Sunday evening. You guys saw I got my nails done, which I love this color. It's not quite a white. I would say it's like a very, very muted pink. It's like a light, if like light pink and white was like mixed together. I feel like that's what this color is, and I just love it. And I decided to go back to an almond shape. I was doing like square for a while just because my hands are like a little bit short and like stuffier. I feel like the square nails really look good, but I was just feeling very dainty and very classy today, so I changed the shape. But I just woke up from a nap. I've just been like, Sunday evenings I really like to just relax and wind down and let my body really recover and recuperate from the week. From the week and the weekend, and just having ADHD and endo, it just takes a toll on your body sometimes, mentally and physically. And I just decided that I am done trying to fight against my body, and as I'm on this healing journey still and just trying to find better solutions for me to manage both ADHD and endometriosis, which I was only recently diagnosed like in the last 3 years only, and so each year it's just been a progressive journey for me. So I just found out this year that just slowing down a lot more and just allowing my body to rest as much as possible has been really helpful, just to have overall mental clarity. And then that way, like Monday through Friday, I can go like a little bit more full speed ahead with being productive, with not missing my workout, just being a little bit more focused. Saturday just kind of like half of like a Sabbath day, and then Sunday like fully just tapping out. But yeah, I took a nap. I've just been in and out of sleep. I have been watching YouTube, and I finally iced my head. I felt like having the pressure of the ice pack on my head. I did fall asleep with it on, so I had it on for like 10 minutes longer than I intended to, or the recommended time frame. But I feel like having that pressure just kind of really exacerbated the feeling of my head being bruised from the injury. I don't think it's a concussion. I'm hoping it's not a concussion. I think it's just really badly bruised. So I think I'm going to try to go to sleep as early as possible. But yeah, and then Sunday nights, I usually try to set my intentions for the week in terms of like content. So I usually just put on my notes app here, and I copy and paste it from last week. That's why you'll see there's already check marks here, but I'm going to kind of rearrange this and organize it to a way that makes sense for this week. And this has really been helping hold me accountable. Really the last 2 weeks, maybe even like this whole month, really last few weeks, I've been a lot more consistent and a lot more focused and intentional with my content. So if you're following me on Instagram, I hope that you've been enjoying the content, just seeing more of my content recently. I do post it also to my TikTok and also here YouTube shorts as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys can see some of that content and find value and find enjoyment on there as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week in next week's vlog. But thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.